Listen, I'm not going to lie. The Yankees are having a very, very good offseason, but this move kind of surprises me. They picked up Marcus Stroman, and the reason why this is confusing, almost an Uno reverse card, is because Marcus Stroman, he has actively talked smack about the Yankees, and Brian Cashman once upon a time said that Marcus Stroman would not be a difference maker. He would probably be relegated to the bullpen, and now they're in agreement for 2 years? I'm confusion. We also have to break down the fact that the Giants just signed one of the best relief pitchers in baseball, but they're not going to use him as a relief pitcher. They're going to try and turn him into a starting pitcher. So yeah, a lot to talk about today. Now, before we talk about all of the big stories, you guys might be wondering, Fuzzy, why do you have Charlie Culberson on my screen right now? And it's very simple. Culberson has essentially run out of opportunities to play professional baseball as a hitter or maybe even as a defender. What he's going to do now, he was just given a minor league contract to potentially transition into a pitcher. And we've seen Charlie pitch in major league games before. Usually it's when his team is winning or losing by a bunch of runs. So he came in a few times in relief. This dude, get this, he's thrown nearly 8 innings professionally. He's only allowed 1 single run. And in some of those appearances, Culberson, he was dialing it up to almost 94 to 96 miles an hour. So if he's got some nasty splitters or off speeds in his back pocket and he can somehow extend his career, almost be the anti-Rick Ankiel. If you guys don't remember, Rick Ankiel, he came up as a pitcher, he got the yips, and then he became a very productive outfielder. He was one of the better defenders as an outfielder. So if Charlie can become the anti-Ankiel, go from positional player to starting pitcher or relief pitcher, that would be a lot of fun, and I'm actually hoping that he does it. Also, I do not think that this is going to happen, but apparently the Marlins are currently shopping everyone, including Luis Arraez. Luis Arraez, he could become the first player ever to win a batting title with 3 teams in 3 years. He won one with the Twins, got traded, won with the Marlins, and now it seems like he's about to get traded again. I don't think it's going to happen, but make sure you guys subscribe and turn on those bells, because if he does get traded, I'll be on it first. And then also one more small story. Juan Soto has surpassed Shohei Ohtani for the highest contract ever given via arbitration. So if you guys don't know, arbitration is where the team and the player, they both bring what they're worth to the table, and then they try and decide on, yes, you're worth that, or no, we have to go to an arbiter because you're not worth that. You're essentially hyping yourself up. You're not worth what you're asking for. But Juan Soto, he beat Shohei Ohtani by $1 million. So there you go. It's not an extension, but Juan Soto, he just made some history. Now, before we talk about Marcus Stroman, let's talk about the relief pitcher that is going to be a starting pitcher for the Giants now, Jordan Hicks, who throws a fastball upwards of sometimes 105 miles an hour. He just signed a 4-year deal. He's getting $11 million a year over the next 4 years. And again, the Giants, they're going to try and use him as a starting pitcher. And I don't know if that's just for the meantime, because they traded for Robbie Ray, but Robbie Ray is not going to be available until the All-Star break. Alex Cobb, he's also unavailable to begin the season. So maybe they're going to use Jordan Hicks as an emergency starting pitcher, and then once they get Robbie Ray back and Alex Cobb, they'll go ahead and use Jordan Hicks in a relief role, because I feel like Camilo Doval with Hicks in the bullpen, those are 2 of the nastiest right-handed arms in baseball. And last year, I don't know what happened. As soon as Jordan Hicks got traded to the Blue Jays, he just suddenly figured out how to not walk as many guys. He went from a 5.2 walks per 9 with the Cardinals to a 3 walks per 9 with the Blue Jays. So I'm kind of thinking to myself, if the strikeouts went from 12.7 with the Cardinals to 8.3 with the Blue Jays, he was still throwing as hard, but maybe he was focusing more on command as opposed to just wiping guys out left and right. So what the Giants are trying to do is essentially turn Jordan Hicks into Michael King. Michael King, he's been one of the best relief pitchers in baseball over the last few seasons, but to end 2023, he was one of the best starting pitchers in baseball. The Yankees, they stretched him out. Pause. But they worked up Michael King over the final few months of the season, and then eventually they said, hey, Michael, you are a full-blown starting pitcher now. I mean, this dude against the Toronto Blue Jays, I'm talking about Michael King, struck out 13 over 7 innings, only allowed 1 run, and then the very next start, he threw another gem against the Blue Jays, 6 shutout, only allowing 1 base hit. So if Jordan Hicks can somehow turn into the next Michael King, we know that he's one of the best in baseball in terms of fastball velocity. Actually, he is the best. He's really good at striking guys out and missing bats, but the walks are an issue. So if the walks continue to be an issue, you can't be a starting pitcher, man. You got to be a 1 or 2 inning guy. All right, now let's talk about Marcus Stroman and his 2-year deal with the New York Yankees. So I think he's getting about $37 million over the next 2 years. Now, one thing I want to mention about Marcus Stroman, this dude is very confident in himself, and you can see the confidence in the fact that he has talked a lot of smack about the Yankees. I'm just going to throw up random tweets and things that he has said about both himself and the Yankees over the last few years. But I feel like his PR team really stepped up, because he has not tweeted anything. He hasn't even liked a tweet since July of 2023. And I think that's because he was regressing as a pitcher. He was talking a lot of smack. And if you're a free agent, those are both recipes for disaster. Now, for some context, I will admit that Marcus Stroman, he is one of the more consistent pitchers in baseball. He has a career 3.65 ERA, which is pretty impressive. Now, to begin 2023, he was actually on pace to maybe even start the All-Star game. He had 16 starts before June 25th. So from the beginning of the season to June 20th, in 16 starts, Marcus Stroman had a 2.28 ERA. Again, he was one of the best pitchers, if not the best pitcher in the NL to begin the season. But then after that, he completely fell off. Now, a lot of fans, especially Cubs fans, they'll say that that was in large part because he injured his hip. But to end the season, from June 20th, he had a 2.28 ERA. And then on his final start, September 28th, he had a 3.95 ERA. So again, he was very, very bad to end the season. But if you guys take a look at the Yankees rotation, if anything, this Marcus Stroman deal means that the Yankees don't have to be as desperate. They don't have to sell out to try and get a guy like Blake Snell or Jordan Montgomery. So they have Garrett Cole. Obviously, he's coming off a Cy Young season. He's going to be their ace. I still believe in Carlos Rodon. Now that he has a full offseason to nurse that shoulder, I feel like he's going to bounce back. Marcus Stroman is slated as their number 3. You have Clark Schmidt and Nestor Cortez. I still think that Clark Schmidt is serviceable, but I would use him as a 5. But the biggest questions are, can Marcus Stroman bounce back? Can Nestor Cortez bounce back? Can Carlos Rodon, who got a fat contract, can he bounce back after injuring that shoulder? If you're a Yankees fan, let me know what you make of this move, because again, I thought that Marcus Stroman did not like the Yankees, and I thought that Brian Cashman didn't think very highly of Marcus Stroman, considering he said once upon a time he could be a bullpen arm and he's not a difference maker. Now, in some smaller news, I do want to talk about the Reds signing Brent Suter. This guy has been very, very productive over the last few years as a lefty reliever. He's not going to throw 98 to 99. He's not a Jake Diekman. But one thing that Brent Suter is really good at is when he does allow a base hit or when he does allow a ball to get put in play, it's not hit very hard because he himself doesn't throw very hard. That's why the Rockies and the Reds are interested in this guy, because they play in ballparks that are basically cheat codes. You want the ball to die. Look at the offseason that the Reds are having. They've signed Jeimer Candelario, Nick Martinez. He has shown glimpses of being pretty good. He was on the World Baseball Classic team for USA. You have Emilio Pagan. Again, he's shown glimpses of being really good. Frankie Montas, Brent Suter. I don't really think highly of Luke Maile, but he is a veteran catcher who can really develop the young starters in that rotation. I'm hearing rumors that Nick Lodolo is healthy as well. If the Reds actually perform like they're supposed to, they could win 90 plus games in 2024. I could see it happening. So I want to tip my cap. They have honestly had a near A offseason. It's been that good. And then to end today's recap, look at the top 10 shortstops according to MLB Network. This is an MLB Network, not NFL.com or anything like that. People who don't regularly watch baseball. Bobby Witt Jr. at number 9. I love Dansby Swanson, but he should not be ahead of Trey Turner. And then Xander Bogaerts in the top 3. Xander ended 2023 on fire, but I would still take Trey Turner over Xander. Like, what are we doing? Bobby Witt Jr. at 9? But that does it for today's recap. Do me a favor, if you watched all the way until the end, you probably enjoyed it. Leave a like, and if you're brand new, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay safe out there.